die, there'll be bullets and gun smoke. You don't like my lifestyle? I'm rolling with the new Jack crew. And I'm a hustler.
That's what's called gangster rap. Hardcore, street-tough lyrics of Los Angeles-based groups like Ice-T and Niggers with Attitude, or N.W.A. Their angry style, with its racial slurs, deliberately shocking lyrics, and brutal images of life in South Central L.A., have stirred controversy even as they have sent rap sales soaring.
I'm a nigga in America, and that much I flunk. Cause when I see what I like, yo, I take what I want. I'm not the only one, that's why I'm not bitter. Cause everybody is a nigga to a nigga.
Ice-T's single, Cop Killer, even sparked a national protest. But cops were not the only objects of derision. Women were too. More controversy was sparked by the frequent use of words like bitch and whore. Still, gangster rap continued to sell. This song by Dr. Dre currently ranks among the top-selling albums. To its supporters, gangster rap is a form of social protest, a kind of street theater, the heartbeat of urban America. But to its critics, it is simply an attempt to manipulate racist stereotypes for profit, to sell records.
We strongly believe that it is our Christian, moral, and social responsibility to speak out against evil forces.
It is that opposition that is creating the first real backlash to the music, a backlash born in the same place that gave birth to rap, the black community. Recently, opponents of hardcore rap gathered at New York City's Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem to say enough is enough.
It is not all right for our black male children to grow up and be drug dealers, gang bashers, or stick-up kids. But your negative lyrics and videos are telling them that it's all right.
Many of those who came to protest were primarily middle-class adults, educated working people, and parents who were insulted by the negative stereotypes of blacks portrayed in the rap lyrics.
But negative rap is a slap in our faces. It lets everybody know to a certain extent that we as black people must have low self-esteem, no respect for ourselves or anyone else, and we just don't care who we hurt as long as we're making the dollar.
I've had to endure that ugly N-word for some 400 years now, and enough is enough. Black women have been the objects of too much violence. They've been the objects of too much abuse and too much misuse, and enough is enough.
The protest was organized by Abyssinian Baptist pastor Reverend Calvin Butts. Reverend Butts argues that he is not against all rap, just that which denigrates blacks through words and images. That rap, he says, casts a shadow on all blacks.
This is not a place, as one young woman stood up and said once, where I hear people being called bitches and whores around every corner and MFs. It's not. It's not like that in Oakland. It's not like that in L.A. There is some of it, but the world must not understand that that is who we are. We are not that.
We will not stand for the vile, ugly, low, crime, abusive, and rough music.
Until now, most blacks in leadership positions have refrained from criticizing such a popular form of black expression and protest. When Reverend Butts finally spoke out, it was clear outside the church that he had struck a nerve. The streets of Harlem came alive with debate in a way not heard since the protest era of the 60s.
You all can do better, and you ought to do better. I think that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. I ask you this question.
We are embracing white culture.
You all are not talking to one another. You're talking past one another.
Because she never listened.
No minds were changed, but the issue was now out in the open, and people were debating it as never before.
I'm here because I'm outraged at the denigration of black women. And as a father, as a son, my mother, my sisters, our wives, our girlfriends have been denigrated, and these are against the values of our community.
Others argued that if Reverend Butts was going after anyone, it should have been the record companies themselves, that negative rappers were merely telling it like it is.
We know what's right, We know what's wrong, and music is not the killer. It's not the ill. The ill is the streets that we are forced to live like rats on. The ill is the projects we are forced to live in.
We're coming from our community. We are not talking bad things like bang, bang, shoot 'em up because we want to. This is what we live. I would love to talk about blue skies and apple pies, but I can't. That's not where I live. I live here where I see babies having babies. I see pregnant mothers using drugs, and this is what I talk about.
Only a few blocks away, in a very different atmosphere, teenagers were also talking about rap music.
Come one, come all, accept the Haitians with the hips. Though you're sailing for your life, the question is who really gives a...
This is a rap workshop at New York's Riverside Church. Here, another minister, the Reverend Mariah Britton, is taking a different approach, trying to use rap as a positive force to develop the writing talents of these teenagers. These young men and women don't use obscene language or condone violence in their own lyrics, but they echoed the arguments of many of those who defended rap during Reverend Butt's protests.
I think, like, the language used by rappers just pretty much reflects how people feel in life. So you're pretty much just saying whatever comes to mind and how you feel. And if you feel like cursing because of the situation you see, that just happens.
Like Jay said, it's just a reflection of the times. This is harsh times now. So there's gonna be a harsh music. So if you don't understand it, you know, you're not really understanding what today is all about.
To these aspiring rappers, the negative messages in some songs are no worse than in other entertainment media.
But what about your integrity? What about what you stand for as a human being? Are you swayed more by the desire to make money and to sell the records? Or are you led by your sense of integrity?
Bottom line is it's entertainment. In the same way you have to, like, that'd be like asking an actor or like asking Sylvester Stallone, well, how do you really feel about the way you're portraying people in Vietnam as just, you know, bloodthirsty killers and going around shooting people? Probably wouldn't have a second thought about that because, you know, he doesn't really probably know the first thing about Vietnam.
Despite the gentle coaxing of Reverend Britton, these young people were reluctant to admit there was anything wrong with hardcore rap. Mike Abbott, an independent record promoter who was invited to speak to the students, says as long as that attitude prevails, negative rap will continue to sell.
Record companies have been guilty in putting out too much of the negative rap. But, you know, those decisions are based on what they feel will sell in the marketplace. It's a catch-22. If you put out garbage and the customer responds to garbage, you keep putting it out.
It's been suggested that what appeals to both black and white teenagers is hardcore rap's anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian messages. But some psychologists suggest that the appeal for white males, the group that buys the most CDs, goes beyond teenage rebelliousness. They argue that the appeal to that group stems from the validation of their worst stereotypes about black people. For the congregation of Abyssinian Baptist Church, that notion fuels much of the drive against gangster rap. Abyssinian Baptist Church has been involved in the black struggle for equality for decades. Upstairs, the Adam Clayton Powell Room pays tribute to the church's former minister turned congressman. Old press clippings chronicle important civil rights victories. Here, the street language used by many rappers evokes images through words that civil rights protesters like Adam Clayton Powell fought to bury.
I understand anger, I understand frustration, but brother, if your back is burdened by the whip of white racism and you're taking it out on the black woman, then your anger and your frustration, though it may be legitimate, it is misguided and misdirected.
Reverend Butts hopes that protests like these and the media coverage they generate will eventually make an impression on the rappers and cause them to change their negative vocabulary.
We're not saying that they can't make it. They have every right in the world to make it. What we're saying is that we hope to create a climate in our community that we believe once existed, where this kind of thing is so intolerable that people would dare not suggest that a black woman is a bitch or any woman is a female dog.
Negative rap is not all right. Negative rap is not all right.
Since Reverend Butts launched his protest this summer, many other spiritual leaders have followed in Detroit, Dallas, and Los Angeles, all challenging not rap, but negative lyrics. A New York appearance by Los Angeles rapper Dr. Dre has reportedly been indefinitely postponed. It remains to be seen whether Dr. Dre, the other hardcore rappers, and their record companies will in fact hear the protest and change their tune.
Never let me slip, 'cause if I slip, then I'm slipping. But if I got my